play hard. Both teams sometimes go into lows on the offensive end, but defensively, that'll keep them alive.
Underway here on the men's side of the bracket in the 2020 MAAC Basketball Championships presented by Hercules Tires. And here we are, first possession. Chris, this could be first to 50 wins, and that might be being generous.
Again, both teams sometimes can be offensively deficient where they have a tough time scoring the basketball. But again, they start off the scoring for Fairfield. That's the area where you have to exploit against Manhattan, that foul line extended area. If you can get good looks there and make good decisions.
That was all rookie selection. Chris Mido, the freshman from New Carrollton, Maryland, with our first bucket. Manhattan paced on the season by Tyke Green's 10 points. Paulie Polycap right behind him, scoring in double figures, adding 6 rebounds. Bud Mack has his shot bothered by Landon Talaferro, and here come the Stags.
Great defense there by Talaferro, again, using his legs and length.
Seeing as they come into the screen, both teams starting lineups presented by Geico. Saving people money on more than just car insurance is Geico.
Manhattan does a really good job in their matchup defense. At a certain stage, it always turns into a man-to-man.
And really the challenge on the other side is when does it do that? And if you don't see that defense a whole bunch, I think I've seen it about 20 times in my broadcast career. I can't figure it out.
Oftentimes when you get in that foul line extended area, it usually turns into a man-to-man, but Masiello does a really good job of changing it up.
There's those Geico starting lineups again. Shot clock down to 2 for Bud Mack. Rims in and out, rebound to Alan Jean Rose.
That's always a win defensively when you make Manhattan take a contested outside shot. They're very successful when they can get it in the paint with their bigs. Taliaferro exploiting that area, Eddie-O. Foul line extended area, mid-range. They did a really good job of that at Draddy Gymnasium.
Known for his three-point shooting, Taliaferro getting inside. Samir Stewart answering. He's able to get inside and finish with the left.
If you're a Manhattan fan, that's a guy you want to get started early. Samir Stewart usually plays well in big games.
And Fairfield going to break the pressure. Mido to the rim, challenging Polycap, and we go down the other way.
Seen that plenty of times. Anytime you go against Polycap, you got to go in with 2 hands as Christian Hinkson knocks down the 3-ball in transition. Mido threw it down on him with 2 hands in that last game. And I tell you time and time again, you know Greg Mesko. I tell Greg, if you go against Polycap, go in there with 2 hands, not 1.
And then the Jaspers now, a couple of buckets, forcing turnovers as well. As good a rhythm team as there is in the MAAC, and they'll get the basketball back.
Well, Eddie, there are 3 things that gets a crowd involved, gets your team involved, gets your fan involved. A block shot, 3-point shot, or a dunk. The block shot got the energy going for that Jasper bench.
Hinkson just made a 3. Now getting inside. A good hustle from Hinkson down low, and he ties it up. It'll stay that end of the floor.
Pretty move by Hinkson, getting all the way to the cup there. Unable to finish, but throughout this tournament, you'll see all these teams giving multiple effort. The team that gives you that 4th and 5th effort usually comes out with a victory.
There's the one thing I know. Effort won't be a question in this game, either way, with these 2 teams.
We haven't seen a legitimate post touch for Manhattan just yet. Let's see if they run a set to get it inside.
Polycap looking for it. They're paying a ton of attention to Polycap. And Hinkson traveled.
Great job on the defensive end by Fairfield, understanding Manhattan was trying to get the ball inside, doing a great job pressuring the basketball and not allowing that easy outside look.
Early 1-point lead for the Jaspers. They scored about 63 a game. They only give up about 65. Here's Gene Rose to the rim, and he's fouled.
That's a solid move by Rose. I like him putting it on the floor. The freshman, slender build, but again, using his length to get past Polycap.
Made news earlier this year when they beat Monmouth in Webster Bank, had that coast-to-coast layup to beat the Hawks.
Young man at that size, able to put it on the floor, surprised the Hawks that night. Again, that move very similar.
First free throw ties the game. Polycap will sit down. And one twin tower out, the other in. And sophomore Warren Williams, who had just a monster of a MAAC tournament last season.
Well, again, when you talk about Manhattan, you talk about those two bigs. On most teams in the league, as Rose makes the second free throw, you have at least one legit big. Manhattan has the specialty. They have the luxury of two solid bigs who can score the ball and rebound it consistently.
There's Tyler Reynolds, the veteran catch and shoot from beyond the arc, and if he could ever get hot, that would be tremendous for Manhattan.
And you know I love the lefties. When they put it up, it looks so sweet. Tyler had his hands and feet ready to shoot.
Couple of triples here in the first couple of minutes for Manhattan. Now a straight up man-to-man, this time down the floor. Here's Vincent Easy, handoff Taliaferro. He'll pull up from the right elbow. There's MAAC with the defensive rebound.
And those are the tough shots that Taliaferro was making against Manhattan in previous games. He has the ability to do it.
Hinkson shot it as an afterthought, and it's the third three for Manhattan already.
And when the Jaspers are knocking down their three ball, they can be as tough as anybody in this league. Here's a young man I like a lot right here. Benning handling the ball. Big, tall, strong point guard. Able to handle pressure and see over the defense.
Has really taken on that role as their point guard. Not his natural position, but has done a nice job for Jay Young this year. Jesus Cruz to the rim. MAAC, the catch. Going to lead everyone into the front court. Trailing the play is Stewart. Hinkson's feeling it. Oh, I thought he was going to pull the trigger.
Thought that was a heat check. Stewart did a good job finding his fellow sophomore, but he thought second of it.
Paint touch for Williams. Warren Williams, the shoulder down, but an offensive foul.
And that's always a difficulty when you're a legit big like Warren Williams. And at the MAAC level, there aren't always bigs who can guard you, so that's going to happen most of the time.
Manhattan an 11-6 lead over Fairfield, knocked down 3 threes so far.
When I do it with my right hand, and that's what the Jaspers try to make you do. Case in point right there, Fairfield turns it over.
Yeah, Vincent Easy that time. You know, it's funny. Coaches always say to players, how many times do you shoot that shot in practice? How many times do you do that move in practice? Manhattan makes you do those moves.
Correct. At least they try.
There's Tyke Green off the bench. His floater a bit strong. Benning pulls down the rebound.
And that's one of the reasons I like Benning so much. Big, strong guard, able to take the ball off the board and start the offense. Again, nothing there. However, as the game progresses, that's when you get transition baskets.
6 minutes gone by. That's the point total. Manhattan has limited Fairfield to this point. Good ball movement by the Stags. Benning the set shot three, front rim. And Gene Rose rips the rebound away. Good play by the young fellow.
Great job by Gene Rose going after the basketball. Again, that's the type of effort you need, going right after the ball, going strong, using that rim as a shield, putting it up on the other side.
Playing bigger than the 6'7", 185-pound frame. Manhattan shooting 50% from the field early on and 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
Fairfield doing a really good job not allowing that ball to go inside easy.
Stewart, the pull-up three. Back rim, a good hustle by the sophomore, keeping Manhattan possession.
That's a rebound Fairfield has to get.
Keep the eye on the hustle points all game long. They typically go the way of Jasper Green. Stewart again. This time going to get into the lane, the scoop shot. And there's the rebound down low to Methnani.
Solid defense, not allowing Stewart to get a really good look at the basket. Made him go strong to the left.
Benning picks up his dribble and a kick. It'll stay this end of the floor. You'll get 3 new Jaspers into the game. Paulie, Cap, MAAC, and Hinkson all come in. And Fairfield will check in Itis Kavalauskas for the first time. There is Steve Masiello right behind Tyke Green.
Coach Mass, one of the better coaches in our league. So many good coaches. Honestly, you can't really say any of them are bad coaches. They do a good job getting their guys ready to play. That's why this tournament is going to be so competitive.
And I think that's why the league was so competitive this year. You know, much was made about the MAAC. As Cruz can't finish, Methnani is fouled. And Chris, to further the point, so much was made about how close this league was throughout the whole
season. No question.
Because of that, if you look by the metrics, it was rated pretty high, higher than it's been the last couple years. You had a handful of teams that separated towards the end. But we know, just because you're playing in the 8-9 game doesn't mean you can't go and knock off Siena tomorrow night.
We talked about multiple efforts. All the teams in the league give you a multiple effort. They play hard consistently. The difference, as I stated, is a run. Can you sustain an 8-0 run? Can you make that 8-0 run? The area where a lot of teams struggle, reason being these two in this 8-9 game, they become offensively challenged. They have lulls during the basketball game where they have a tough time scoring the basketball. But you said have the Jaspers shoot the ball as well as they're doing right now, you can easily say they're one of the top 3 teams. Fairfield, when they start to get on a roll, you can easily say they're in the top 4 also. So there's certain small things that you have to keep an eye on all the teams in this league. So that's why the parity in this league is really great.
MAAC trying to split the double team. He'll earn a trip to the free throw line with 12-11 to go in the first.
Like that decision by MAAC to get into the lane. Paint touches are so important, and it's not always about posting up. If your guards can get into that lane, it collapses the defense. And for the Jaspers, sometimes their best offense is throw it up on the glass, just go get it.
So that'll send the junior Bud MAAC to the free throw line. Excellent free throw shooter on the season, 89%. I'll take the blame for that one.
No, sir.
You know,
I've heard that time and time again. These guys have to make shots regardless of what we're saying over here.
Young player, freshman Adam Cisse will get some time in. Paulie Cap will take a seat. You know, one of the more, I think, remarkable stats in the league as MAAC goes 0 for 2. He had 66 assists, just 22 turnovers. People see that, they go, yeah, it's 3-1. But when you play that role, and he a lot of times was a reserve off the bench, that's key to get that kind of contribution from a point guard.
No question about it. He's about as solid as you get at that point guard position. Doesn't look for his shot, plays excellent defense. When he has the opportunity, he does knock it down if he gets his feet set.
Cruz, a little up and under move. All 5 Jaspers go to the glass.
And that's another guy I like a lot. Cruz played so well against Manhattan in that second meeting. As Buchanan puts up the circus shot, hits the bottom of the backboard. Good defense by Fairfield, but just to close out with Cruz, the Jaspers run and jump at Benning, but I talked about his big size and strength, able to beat that double team.
Methnani to the basket. Back rim. Look at Mido, the rebound and the assist.
Mido with a nice athletic play. Again, off the rebound, able to control the ball, and I believe that was a pass in the same motion.
Yeah, I think that was, and that's what makes it so spectacular.
Didn't particularly believe it. It got me tongue-tied.
Hinkson driving right at Mido, and on the alternate possession, it'll send it down to Fairfield. Well, defense has been what we expected to see. It's been what we have seen for the first 9.
Gives momentum to Fairfield. He also has a nice going to the lane shot. Again, off balance. But those are the type of shots you have to be able to make. But when you take those and you make those, it gives so much energy to your team.
Yeah, that shot got some
yes,
play on
Sports Center
and social media.
My man Jay Curry and Greg called it.
You don't work on the seeded 3 very often.
Nah, not many people do.
Squaring away the foul here. 10:51 to go in the first. It's an 11-11 game. 2 teams that, you know, play in the upper 50s, low 60s. I think a lot of these games here in Atlantic City over the next couple days are going to be that way.
Well, again, when you get into tournament play, oftentimes the game slows down.
Benning to the rim, going to use the left, and there's Paulie Cap, but a foul.
Again, I talked about his strength. Jaspers go man-to-man. Great opportunity for him to go to the basket. Beautiful spin move. Paulie Cap just a tad late with the block shot. The foul came beforehand.
Trying to see who they credited the foul to. I think they gave it to Paulie Cap, weirdly enough. And he was the one who came over and helped. And because of that, Paulie Cap will have to sit down with 2 fouls.
Wow, I thought that was on the floor. Paulicap came over a little late with the block. I thought the block was clean. But again, the most important part is Benning getting to that basket, able to draw contact.
So that'll get Warren Williams back into the game. And Benning knocks down a pair. And all right, here's your first 8-0 run. Granted, it's taken about 5 minutes. No, just a 7-0 run. I haven't gotten there quite yet.
Keep an eye on the 8-0 runs. That's for the entire tournament for everyone, Eddie O.
Well, you and I are going to be pretty busy over the next couple days, so it's definitely something we'll keep an eye on. There's Hinkson whistled for a travel. 4th Manhattan turnover here in the first half.
And those are the careless turnovers you don't want to have, which are basically unforced.
It's the 3rd Manhattan turnover in the last 5 minutes. Coincides with a scoring drought over the same amount of time. Kavalauskas now Cruz. 15 before Fairfield can get it in their offense. Cruz tries the wraparound. Hinkson knocked it away. Stays with Fairfield. Shot clock down to 5. Cruz has it taken away by Warren Williams.
Quick hands by Warren Williams to knock that away.
And then Reynolds not ready on the outlet pass.
And those are the effort plays we talked about, Eddie O. Fairfield not giving up on that play.
9:35 and counting to go here in the first. 13-11 Stags. They get a paint touch down low for Easy. Shot clock down to 2 for Kavalauskas. Good hustle from Easy on the offensive glass.
Great job by Easy going after that loose ball.
And Williams, the big body Williams, forcing another turnover. Easy just had nowhere to throw it.
Nothing to do with it. Again, the multiple effort plays, neither team giving up on a possession just yet.
Williams catching it higher than where he normally likes to. Warren Williams, kick out, extra pass, Hinkson. Mido, good hands.
Mido once again using his length. I love it.
Throw it up to Mido, the reverse layup. And there's Hinkson to pull down the rebound. And they'll reset with 8:30 to go.
Good decision by the Jaspers right here to pull it back out, try to get a good quality look.
Stewart one-on-one with Cruz. Kick into the corner. MAAC for 3.
Great find by Stewart. That's a shot MAAC usually knocks down.
Now both teams are mired in long shooting slumps here as Fairfield leads by 2. Cruz going to go to that floater. That's one of those shots that you spoke of earlier.
Those are the type of shots Cruz made in that last meeting between these two teams.
Hinkson, Mido, the huge left-handed rejection.
Mido doing a great job using all of his length. Big-time block.
7:39 to go in the first. Media timeout on the floor. You saw Mido's block once. Why not see it again? Well, and especially in a game where if it's not falling from deep, like you said, might be the best source of offense is to get it up on the rim and see how many second chance points you can get. There's Reynolds right in front of us. Whistle away from the ball, and I heard the tumble that Alan Jean Rose took without seeing it. And he's slow to get up.
A lot of action off the basketball. We were watching Tyler Reynolds. I'm going to take a guess he was trying to come off the screen. Looks like maybe he twisted.
Oh. Almost looked like a non-contact injury as he tried to plant.
Right.
Oh, boy. Hopefully Alan Jean Rose is okay.
Great thing about being young is you can spring up so quickly after that happens. Eddie, if that was me, I might be on the floor until tomorrow.
No, you'd be okay. They'd have to use a giant spatula to get me off the floor. I'd have no shot. Well, he's over, at least was able to
Right,
gingerly, albeit, but walk off. Hopefully not more than a cramp or something weird like that, but
No
that didn't
question
look
about it.
great.
Yeah, we wish him well.
Here's Williams attacking easy. Oh, and they call this one an offensive foul as well. It'll be Warren Williams' second.
Great job by Easy, first and foremost, forcing Warren Williams further out than he really likes. So he has to make that move. Easy with the quicker feet, gets in position, takes the charge. And just back to my point about legit bigs in our league. Again, Easy, smaller, big player, able to use his feet to his advantage. In a higher league, possibly the Big East, Big Ten, a guy like Warren Williams, you probably won't make that call because he's playing against another legit big who can't move as fast.
Right. And it speaks to the other side of the point, too. And Warren Williams is a very gifted offensive player, but you've seen him more than I have this year. Probably going to score more with his back to the rim than facing up, but I know he's added that to his game.
And that is his game. That is his game. Back to the basket, legit big, which we don't see a lot of here in the MAAC.
I believe there's been a bench warning.
No question.
Bench warning on the Jaspers.
And you could possibly get that every game. There's always a lot of chatter coming from that Jasper bench.
Fairfield holding a 2-point lead. And the scoring droughts in this game are now starting to reach some pretty high numbers. Benning trying to snap it, but Polycap with the absolute swat. Taliaferro's three short, but another Fairfield offensive rebound.
Fairfield always in position to get those 50-50 basketballs after a possession like that.
The defense is really locking in here. 5 seconds for Fairfield to shoot. Cruz will flip fire and knock it down.
Cruz with the long-range three said, if I can't get any closer, I'm going to set my feet and knock it down.
Now the white Polycaps patrolling the paint. Safe bet to shoot from beyond the arc. Polycap trying to answer. He and a duo of Stags and Easy and Methnani do battle. It'll stay this end of the floor.
Once again, Easy doing a solid job of pushing Polycap this time off his post position. Going to go to the replay here. Body in the conference tries to block everything.
Stewart muscles it up on the rim, and he'll go to the line. And because of Polycap's blocking prowess, it seems like guys want to go after the shot blocker, but you do that at your own risk against him.
Two things occur here. First and foremost, as a defender, if you're a perimeter player on the Manhattan staff, you understand if I get beat, I got Paulie behind me.
Right.
He can help me out tremendously. On the opposite side, if you're going down that lane, you have to go at him strong. I've said it time and time again. If you're going to attack Polycap, you have to go at his chest, and I don't believe you can dunk it on him with one hand. You got to do it with two. You're either going to make it or get fouled.
Samir Stewart goes 1 of 2. And although Manhattan hasn't scored in 9.5 minutes, it's just a 4-point game with 6:14 to go in the first.
Well, the defense on both ends of the floor is going to keep these teams in the game. We talked about them having the lulls offensively. We know they're a little challenged in that area, but defensively they're not going to give up. They're going to go after every loose ball and keep grinding.
Benning calling out instructions here with 10 seconds to shoot. Going to use the screen from Easy. Polycap gets matched up with him. And Benning drives right into MAAC, and it'll be an offensive foul.
Excellent defense by Manhattan. You love the switch out by Polycap. MAAC working hard because he was in the post, but he comes up, takes that charge in a great area. Benning didn't see him.
Tune into this one and you see the score, and you love defensive basketball, you're loving it.
Well, I'm going to flip it a different way. If you love competitive basketball,
there it is.
You're going to love it.
Hinkson hit a 3 early. This one a step inside the arc. Offensive rebound, Tyke Green. Oh, Polycap couldn't handle it.
Easy battling inside. with Paulie Cap. Able to deflect that away.
Benning will bring it up. 5.5 to go. A 4-point game here late in the first half. Good hustle by MAAC, but he'll be whistled for the foul.
And that goes back to my initial point. Manhattan just tries to make you do some things you're not used to doing. Benning sometimes gets a little loose with the ball handling. In that second game, he had a couple of turnovers, and I know the Jaspers probably looked at that during their film study.
That'll send Benning to the line, 1-1 after the 7th Manhattan foul. Taj Benning gets the roll. We mentioned it earlier. The junior from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, has played a nice role, is now kind of that point guard that he's, I guess, an adopted point guard, if you will. Came in as a 2-3 and has really assumed that lead role for Jay Young.
And I'm always a big fan of big guards in the MAAC because they can do multiple things. If he can handle the ball at the point guard position, oftentimes he can switch off to the 2 or to the 3 just because of his size, and once in a while, because of his size, can switch off on the 4.
Paulie Cap muscling one up on the rim, getting his own rebound. Benning down low, couldn't corral it. It'll stay with Manhattan.
Tip my hat to Easy. Again, just bodying up on Paulie Cap. As strong as Paulie Cap is, Easy matching his strength. But like I said about Manhattan, put that ball up on the glass. Your best offense is going back up there and getting it.
Coming up on the 5-minute mark to go here in the first half. The Fairfield lead is 6. Stewart using the screen. A little bit of room, can't finish, and Benning clears the rebound.
Solid defense by Fairfield. Again, that was a contested shot. Stewart came up, didn't shoot it with a lot of confidence.
These two teams each shooting in the 20s here in the first half. Benning, line drive 3. Cruz on the offensive glass. Taliaferro open from the wing. Chance for Manhattan to cut into this 2-possession lead. Hingson's shot. Paulie Cap's second try and muscles it in.
Once again, in transition, that's the best time to shoot a 3 ball because the defense isn't set. That's an even better time for a guy like Paulie Cap who runs rim to rim to get himself great position to get an offensive rebound and put it right back in.
Feel the intensity here in our men's first round matchup here on Tuesday afternoon, slowly turning into evening here in Atlantic City. Cruz, Benning, Kavalauskas. Extra pass over to Easy. Great Manhattan defense all over the floor. And then they call a jump ball in the backcourt that'll keep it down there.
Wow, interesting call. Looks as though the Jaspers may have a legitimate gripe there. Thought it was a shot clock violation. However, like you said, it was a tie-up right at the end.
That gets us to the immediate timeout. 3:36 to go in the first. Fairfield leads Manhattan by 4. So Paulie Cap, they take him off the ball, and he'll patrol the paint as he normally does. 3.5 to go here in the first. Fairfield shooting just 23% and 1 of 6 from 3. Here's Taliaferro. Going to go to the pull-up 2. And it's all Manhattan underneath.
And I like that shot for Taliaferro. He made that in that second meeting. Again, that one bounce strong pull-up using his size at 6'5", unable to knock it down that time.
Corner, Hinkson gets to the block. Stewart from beyond the three-point line, front rim, and it'll stay this end of the floor. Easy will get whistled for the foul. It's his first.
Easy had been doing a really good job just trying to keep Paulie Cap off the glass. But consistently battling against Paulie Cap and Warren Williams, it will wear you down, Eddie O. How many times do you think you could box out Paulie Cap or Warren Williams?
As Vincent Easy or myself?
As yourself.
Absolutely zero.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I would need about 3 friends to do that. Easy has another whistle here. Will go on Methnani. Easy's listed 6'8", 210 and plays really that bruiser role for Fairfield. Right. They lost Jonathan Casababu to graduation last year. The other bigs on the roster, Methnani's not necessarily a guy who's going to do that every time down the floor, so Easy a lot of times has to do all that dirty work.
And that's the point I was making now. Again, Easy, a legit bruiser, as you described him, and I think you were generous. Now you come off the bench. Is there another person who can bang inside like he did?
Well, Paulie Cap has Cruz on his back now, calling for it. Hingson's going to take Methnani down to the block. And gets it on the rim. Paulie Cap, the offensive rebound. His putback is good, and it's a 2-point game.
And that's where you want to make your presence felt. We started off the broadcast. I think the Jaspers have to have paint touches. You want to dominate that painted area.
Paulie Cap is playing an inspired first half. 5 rebounds already, a couple of blocked shots to go along with now 4 points. And a travel on the left wing. Another turnover will send it back over to Manhattan. Looking for the tie and potentially the lead.
Well, again, you take a look at Samir Stewart telling his teammates, let's try to turn it up and let's go. Defensively on that last possession, the ball pressure seemed to go up another notch.
Hinkson to the rim, can't get it to fall, and Methnani clears the board.
Christian Hinkson has been ultra aggressive in this first half, trying to get to the glass. That time, not able to finish. Fairfield is due for a good possession here. Let's see if they can get something out of this possession.
Minute 25 to go here in the first. Cruz's 3 is short.
Seemed more like a settle shot there for Cruz.
Stewart gets into the lane. There's the kick out. MAAC from the other wing gives Manhattan the lead.
Another great job by Stewart finding his backcourt mate, using that baseline. Talked about Bud MAAC. When he has his feet set, hands ready, very good shooter.
It's taken a while, but that's a 7-0 Manhattan run. And Jay Young will call timeout. These two teams have each, it's 19-18, Chris. And each team has had, it's all how you end and start halves. Manhattan trying to end this half with a bit of a flurry over Fairfield.
Now, don't be surprised. Fairfield's going to come back with their run also.
Methnani, second try, put kind of a reverse spin on it that made it spin off the rim, but he'll earn a trip to the free throw line.
And you have to love Methnani banging inside also against the bigger, larger Paulie Cap. Athletic move there, but he stayed with it.
So Wasif Methnani to the line. Gets the friendly roll. He's just a 51% free throw shooter. The first one ties the first half up.
Soft touch. Love him on the baseline. The second one wasn't as soft.
Was not. And fittingly, we're tied at 19 with 40 seconds to go in the first. Stewart, 14 seconds to shoot. Big screen from Paulie Cap. He throws it up to Paulie Cap, who couldn't get a handle on it.
That's a play that Manhattan usually can come down with. That pass was a tad off. Paulie Cap couldn't go up and get it.
Final 10 seconds in the first half. Benning going to bring the clock down inside of 5. Taliaferro has it knocked away by Tyke Green, and Fairfield will have just 9/10 of a second to shoot.
Jaspers have done a really good job on Taliaferro in this first half. I'd like to see a set ran for him so he comes off maybe a screen where he can make a decision, either to get a good open look or get his teammates involved.
Steve Masiello will use his use it or lose it first. Huskis to trigger it in right in front of us, and Polycap right in front of him. That's the third member of the crew right now is Polycap. Bounces to Taliaferro, and his shot goes off the top of the backboard. And that gets us to the end of the first half. And I think between two teams that play defense as well as these two,
yes,
a fitting 19-19 score.
Well, I think if you could overhear Paulie.
Ready for the start of the second half. Manhattan and Fairfield, Chris, 19 all after that opening 20 minutes. What's your now prescription, your diagnosis for the next 20? How do these teams break out of this offensive funk?
Well, again, for Manhattan, I like to see the ball get into the paint. I've said that time and time again. For Fairfield, I like to see Taliaferro get some better looks, run some sets for him so he can get going. You want your best player touching the basketball. If you're going to go down, you want to go down shooting.
Trying to get an early paint touch for Polycap, and the kick there will prevent it. So you like, though, Manhattan looks like they're trying to establish that low post. You know, we didn't get to see a whole lot of Warren Williams because he picked up a couple of fouls, didn't even take a shot. But in this game last year, remember just how dominant he was?
Yes.
When he and Polycap are going, they're so tough to handle.
And again, Manhattan made a conscious effort just to get the ball into the post like they just did there, and you like the results. Beautiful half hook by Polycap. Now for Fairfield, handle the pressure, get your guy Taliaferro some shots, get his confidence going.
Good to see Alan Jean Rose back into the game. He's healthy, but he commits the offensive foul as he knocks over Polycap.
Great to see Rose back on the floor. He comes up limping. Polycap with two good possessions on the offensive end, puts in the half hook, that time taking the charge. Tried to use that Euro, but Polycap in great position.
Polycap involved early here. He's really involved in everything Manhattan does, but the hook shot and drawing the charge. And the Jaspers control. Hinkson, look for the high-low to Polycap, wasn't able to connect.
Easy again with great defense, but that's the type of pass you want to put a little bit more air up under it so it's higher, softer, so Polycap can hold off the defender and go after it.
A little bit more touch from the quarterback there.
Again, you showed me the motion there. I like that, Eddie. I like to see you get out here and do a little something. I think you got a nice jumper. You're not telling me.
If I have a minute and a half, then we're good. Holding call on this end of the floor, 18:50 to go here in the second half. They'll call that foul on Bud Mack. Be his second foul.
And one thing you notice about both of these teams in that last possession, when you're a well-coached team, you run your set so hard. Watch how Fairfield runs through everything.
Benning going to back it out. Just 10 seconds for Fairfield to shoot. Easy. Little turnaround hook, rolls it in. We're tied up again.
Beautiful set there, double screen up high. Great flash by Easy, right in front of the basket there. Nice shot, soft.
Mack flare screen, triple from the wing. And it's all Fairfield white underneath. Mido just inside the free throw line. It'll stay this end of the floor. Polycap knocked it out.
Easy working hard in that post area. Polycap had the inside position, but Easy had both hands on that basketball.
There's Easy in the corner. Stewart knocks it out of bounds.
Talk about that Manhattan bench, you hear them yelling out all the calls, trying to help out on the defensive end.
Fairfield, as always, being patient. Benning drives right into Polycap. Mido rips it away from a teammate of his and uses the window.
Once again, Mido so long, and I talked about his length in that first half, able to come up with that basketball. Beautiful touch to put it off the glass.
Stewart getting the handoff from Reynolds. Gets an open look, top of the key. Samir Stewart gives Manhattan the lead.
Bud Mack able to return the favor to Stewart in that first half. Stewart able to get into that lane and get him a couple of good looks.
Fairfield able to break the pressure. Gene Rose rebounds his own miss. Taliaferro a couple of steps beyond the line.
And that's the type of shot you want Taliaferro to knock down.
Pauly Cap switching to the left hand midair.
Beautiful move, a solid post up, but that's early offense. That's not a set play. Again, they get the ball down. Pauly Cap runs the floor, establishing that nice position.
Seven second half points already for Manhattan as they taken a 3-point lead. Easy, one-on-one with Pauly Cap. Had it deflected away. Here comes Mack. Reynolds, the trailer. Three from straight away is pure.
3 times goes up for Reynolds. The 3 best times to knock down the 3 ball, Eddie O. Inside-out basketball, transition basketball, or a scramble situation.
And Gene Rose Euro step, and he's able to finish.
Gene Rose with another nice move. Comes up a little bit gimpy. Hopefully the young fella's okay because they need him doing stuff like that.
He left in the first half and just being a little bit ginger with that left leg. Stewart uses the Pauly Cap screen. Reynolds looking for 2 in a row from the other wing.
Reynolds knocks down the 3, looks over to the Jasper bench with a big smile on his face, feeling good about himself.
Reynolds now 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Only shot 30% from 3 in the regular season. He's a better shooter than that. We're seeing it tonight.
No question. He's a knockdown shooter. He's that type of guy who's inserted into the ball game to make shots.
Benning fouled on the pull-up jumper. It's on Pauly Cap. It'll be his second.
Benning drawing that contact. Great sell there going to the floor. Fairfield needed to get something, a good look at the basket there. Again, on that replay here, let's take a look. Transition here. Stewart gets to the lane, loses the basketball. Scramble type situation, one of the best times. And look at Reynolds knocks down the 3, and he's feeling good, smiling. Yesterday, Eddie O, so I was in a bind, but I said, I got to get here and work with my boy. They tried to delay me, but no. I'm like both of these teams, relentless, no giving up. My fight was here. And again, right now, expecting a good basketball game. Both teams playing hard. So I think this will come down to the bottom line of who can make a play at the end.
I couldn't agree more. And I know Manhattan leads by 7 now, but there's something about this game. We saw it in the first half as Benning knocks down the second free throw. These two teams really couldn't separate. Jaspers have been able to now on the shooting of Tyler Reynolds.
Again, that outside shooting was definitely a spark that Jaspers needed. I'm looking for Fairfield to come back, Taliaferro to do something for me.
Buchanan's shot is short, and Kavalauskas clears the rebound. Cruz had some good moments for Fairfield in the first half as well. Kind of a young veteran. He's a junior, but he's played so many minutes for Fairfield.
And he's relentless.
Benning with the left hand. Oh, nice look down low to Methnani, who draws the foul.
Again, I talked about Benning's size and strength. The average player, when he gets in that position there, panics, kept his poise, able to pivot, beautiful pass. Warren Williams a tad late coming on the defensive end. Draws that foul. Now you at the line shooting 2.
Nani with a couple of free throws. And Williams picks up his 3rd foul. Tough game for Warren Williams. Hasn't taken a shot. 3 fouls, a couple turnovers. Again, I just keep thinking back to that game last year. I think he went for 30 in that first round game.
He was definitely a beast. Established that offensive position early, dunking everything in sight.
He'll stay on here with those 3 fouls, getting the vote of confidence from his head coach.
Well, that's easy to do when you know you have Pauly Cap waiting in the wings.
Well, high-low look. Williams, the catch. Oh, he's just too strong down low, but couldn't finish. Fights for his own rebound. Stewart for three on the wing.
You have to give one of those points to Warren Williams. Reason being, did not give up on the possession, able to come up with that loose ball rebound, gets it outside to Stewart. Stewart's feet are set, knocks down the three ball, gives Stewart 2, Williams 1. You like that math?
I do like that math, and I think it's appropriate. Manhattan now 4 of 5 from 3 here in the second. Williams, active hands, the deflection. Good hustle from Warren Williams. And then Buchanan whistled for a foul with 4 on the shot clock.
Even though the Jaspers fouled on that possession, you love the intensity from Warren Williams, the big fella going to the floor, trying to come up with that loose ball. The entire Jasper bench standing up, clapping. Go down to the floor, big fella.
Get Tyke Green back in. Take Reynolds out.
Let's see if Fairfield can get a good possession here.
This 7-point lead for Manhattan matches the largest lead for either team in the game. Cruz, a little off-balance shot. And then he fouls Buchanan.
Again, both teams go through stretches where they just have a tough time scoring. That time, Cruz trying to force-feed the action. In my film study in that second ball game, they made a lot of tough shots to bail him out of different situations. I talked about Cruz making the 3 from the seat of his pants and an off-balance shot, and Telefaro making some tough shots. Right now, they're not able to get those shots they were making in that second game.
7 minutes gone by here in the second. Number matches the Manhattan lead. Stewart starting to feel it a bit. This one's short. And they'll call Buchanan for being out of bounds.
Solid box out by Taliaferro, not allowing Buchanan to get to that basketball.
Stewart will take a quick breather after knocking down a couple of threes. They'll get MAAC back in the game. And Manhattan just makes everything you do so difficult.
And this is where their style of play starts to wear on you. You have a number of guys being shuffled in and out who are fresh. And again, you have guys like Taliaferro, Benning, who've been out there for basically the entire ball game. It starts to wear on you.
Manhattan's outscored Fairfield here in the second half, 16-9. Benning, one-on-one with Buchanan. Benning's shot was bothered on the way up. Williams diving to the ground. It's 2 Jaspers on top. MAAC was calling timeout, and they'll give it to him. 12:27 to go here in the second, and it'll be Manhattan ball out of this timeout. And Jaspers lead by 7. Chris, you love tournament basketball with this intensity.
It's all about effort here, Eddie-O.
That dive on the ground that led to this upcoming Jaspers possession.
And you love the big fella going to the floor and how quickly he goes to the floor and gets back up. That's one of the things he's done a better job. He's gotten himself in tremendous shape.
There's Buchanan getting inside the free throw line. Gets his own rebound. And Williams able to tip it in.
Another multiple effort possession. Elijah Buchanan puts up the tough shot, gets his own offensive rebound, goes back on the second jump, and look at Warren Williams, tips that in so quickly, and the Jaspers grow their lead.
9-point advantage. This one was 19-19 at halftime. Methnani's shot rims out. Cruz, the frustration foul.
Right now, Fairfield can't allow this to get away from him. You want to come down each possession and be solid. Plenty of time left on the clock. You understand that both teams go through these lows. Be solid.
The Manhattan lead has now grown to 9 after the Williams tip in. Jaspers in front, 37-28 with 11:45 to go here in the second half. Point Manhattan lead here with 11:45 to go in the second half. The lead has just steadily grown over the course of the last couple of minutes. It's really twofold, Chris. It's not just offensively, but that defense is even more ferocious than it was in the first half.
No question about it. Big possession here for Fairfield. They need a stop.
Buchanan into the lane, able to finish with the left.
Elijah Buchanan with that Euro step. Again, I've often said he's a quiet scorer. This guy's just scratching the surface on how good he can be.
That was a confident move from the sophomore. Taliaferro hit on the hand, and he'll shoot two.
Love that, Eddie-O. I love that. Again, if you're Taliaferro, you have to put it upon your shoulders and understand I need to be more aggressive. I need to get myself into a flow. I like him taking the ball to the basket again. The nice pull-up, that's one of his signature moves. You want to get this guy going.
He had a shot early on in this game, and it's been all 1 for 6 and 0 for 3 from 3 for the leading Stags scorer.
Well, coming into this ball game, the Stags, and he had to understand he was a top priority for the Manhattan Jaspers. What they usually do is try to take away your 1 or 2 options, but he has done so well in the 2 previous meetings. With that being said, you expected him to understand, to be efficient and understand the shots he can take and make.
Just saw one of the rarest things in the MAAC, by the way. That's Landon Taliaferro missing a free throw. He only missed 4 free throws all regular season.
And that tells me right there he might be a little bit off kilter. You want him to be on the floor so he can get into a nice rhythm.
Green to the rim. Williams gets tipped out. New possession for the Jaspers with inside of 11 minutes to go.
And the Jaspers doing exactly what I talked about. Their bread and butter. Get into the lane, put it up on the glass, and try to go get it.
Mack gets his instructions from Steve Masiello. Go to the floater off the window.
Nehemiah Mack turned down the screen to his right, strong to his left. Nice floater off the glass.
A little bit of everything for Mack in this game. 5 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And Jay Young's going to take time out with 10:17 to go in the second, and the Manhattan lead now at 41-29.
Take care of that, but defensively, we need to be strong every possession.
Well, out of the timeout, here's Cruz. Mido gliding to the rim. Jaspers come away with another stop.
You love it when your guards can come back and rebound. In that case, Mack comes up with a big rebound.
It's about 6 minutes since the last Fairfield made shot. Mack strong to the basket. Polycap the tip in.
Eddie-O, we made it clear. Sometimes the best offense for the Jaspers is put it up on that rim, and I talked about paint touches, guards and post players.
Those rebounds starting to pile up, as are the turnovers on this end of the floor.
And the Jaspers style of play is starting to wear on Fairfield. During the early stages of the game, yes, I can dribble with my right hand, even though I'm a lefty. But if I'm just consistently being pressured, I'm going to turn it over once in a while. And you're starting to see those subtle things happen.
This game starting to get into a danger territory for a Fairfield team that does struggle to score. Green has it ripped away by Mido. Big sequence here as Cruz splits the double team. Finds Mido down low.
Case in point, love Mido running the floor, using his length. And what have I said, Eddie-O? If you're going to dunk it on Polycap, how many hands do you need to use?
Got to use 2.
You got to use 2. Good job by the big fella.
The big sequence there for Fairfield. And Stewart will back it out. 8:40 to go here in the second. Jaspers lead by 12. Little screen and roll look. Here's Mack to the floater.
Nehemiah Mack giving you the entire arsenal. Gets into the lane with the floater with the right hand.
7 points, 7 assists for the junior from Harrisburg, PA. Methnani. And Benning calling for it. Cruz. 5 seconds to shoot. Taliaferro in front of two Stags is fouled.
Right now, Fairfield just doesn't look real confident and sure of themselves on the offensive end. But I like Taliaferro getting shots, Eddie-O. You want him shooting the basketball, being active, being aggressive.
There's the shot that will send him to the line for a couple.
Now let's make this clear. Mito did dunk it on Polycap with two hands, but it wasn't really clean. Polycap had a piece of it.
He did get a
That's
piece.
why it's important to do it with two.
Yeah, like that goes in clean, it elicits a different reaction.
No question about it.
Green will take a seat. Another Taliaferro free throw. That's more what Landon Taliaferro does throughout the regular season, back to a 12-point game.
And more importantly, he saw two free throws go through cleanly. Next time down, if he gets an open look, his confidence will be much higher.
Reynolds knocked those 3 threes down on a big Manhattan run earlier. He's back as Stewart will spread things out with 8 on the shot clock. Gets into the air, into the corner to Hinkson. Stewart's got to get it off with 1 second.
Good defensive possession. They need to string a couple of those together.
There's Methnani coming out on the baseline. And Wasif Methnani is fouled with 7:17 to go.
Methnani again contorting his body, drawing that contact. Thought the Jaspers were in good defensive possession. But again, when you're aggressive, you will get calls that go your way.
Free throws coming when we return. 12-point Jasper lead here in the second.
But like I said earlier, you want to make aggressive moves going forward. You want to try to get to the basket if you can. If the outside shot is available, shoot it with confidence.
What's an interesting number in this game is there is Jay Young.
Chris Casey?
Yeah, former Niagara coach Chris Casey residing next to him. How about the free throw disparity in this game? You know, Fairfield is now 15 of 20 from the line. Manhattan just 1 for 4.
Wow. But the Jaspers start shooting the ball so well from the outside. But again, everything's been inside too.
Mito dives to the rim. Reynolds cuts in front of him.
Well, Fairfield had come up with that offensive rebound, had an opportunity to gain additional points.
Jaspers continuing to lead by double figures. Cruz whistled for his third foul.
Cruz aggressive on the basketball there. Didn't see a lot of contact from our view here. When you do hit the hand, they say hand is part of the ball. Thought that was a good defensive effort by Cruz.
MAAC has a great second half going with those 7 points. Stewart into the lane, going to find Polycap down low and a foul. It'll send Polycap to the free throw line. I believe Wasif Methnani the guilty party.
Well, Eddie-O, I'm not sure if either of the teams go in at halftime and listen to the broadcast, but we talked about the Jaspers with paint touches. You want your guards to get into the lane. You want the bigs to get touches. That's where they're at their best. They've been really doing a solid job of getting into the lane. Do you think they listen to us at halftime?
I kind of hope they do because it was Polycap made free throw. If they do, they're learning something. I learn something every time I sit next to you.
I appreciate it. Maybe they have one coach from each staff listen to the broadcast and try to find out what those guys are talking about, mainly you and I.
I would agree with that. I'm sure that coach, we don't want a Major League Baseball situation. They probably don't reside on the bench. They're probably in the locker room. Guys, listen to what Eddie and Smooth were saying. Listen, it makes a lot of sense.
Polycap knocks down both free throws, and that's always a bonus when he knocks those down.
12 points, 8 rebounds for Polycap. Trying to will his team to a win.
Jasper still relentless with the defense.
Cruz has to go almost to midcourt to retrieve. He's going to let fire with 4 on the shot clock. It's all Polycap down low.
That's definitely not the shot they really wanted, but nothing was easy on that possession. Not clean passes, loose balls out of the area of the shooting pocket. So again, the Jaspers turning it up on the defensive end.
Here's Reynolds. First miss from beyond the arc in the game. Easy with the save.
Definitely go time for Fairfield.
They're starting to get into the latter stages of this game. Just 5.5 minutes to go, and it's a 13-point deficit. Here's Easy, short jumper. Mido has it go off, his fingertips.
Thought Mido was in excellent position to get that rebound. I believe someone moved him out really quickly. Love when this young man starts to put a little bit more girth on his body, get in that weight room. He's going to be a really solid MAAC player.
He is. Look at the length and his bounce.
No question about it. And you see these type guys who come into the league and you know they can be a project, and you just look forward to seeing them get much better.
It'll be fun to watch him over the next 3 years. Buchanan, good deflection by Taliaferro. Kavalauskas fell, and that probably prevented an open three from Stewart.
That's great help and recover defense.
Stewart into the lane, wave it away. Cruz drew the offensive foul on Samir Stewart.
Stewart tried his best to avoid that offensive foul, but Cruz really in great position. Drew the foul, but again, Fairfield needs to come down, Eddie-O, and get a good possession.
It almost looked like Stewart tried to pause himself in
Yes,
midair.
he did.
he knew what he did.
It's like a Matrix moment.
Right. And Benning picks up his dribble in the backcourt. Fairfield's been getting the stops it needs. It just needs the bucket to go with it as they trail by 13.
And that's why both of these teams are in this 8-9 game. You have those long lulls when you can't score.
And Cruz traveled. The second half Fairfield turnover.
And I bet Cruz and Taliaferro would trade their second matchup performance for anything to alleviate what's going on this afternoon.
Fairfield defeated Manhattan 66-50 on the last day of the regular season. That determined which color jersey they would wear in this
right.
game. But to this point, whatever adjustments that Steve Masiello and company made from then to now, Fairfield scored 66 in that game. They have 34 points with 4:21 left.
Well, in all honesty, Eddie, in my film study for this basketball game, I don't believe there were a lot of things they had to change. I just really felt Fairfield made timely shots, some tough shots that they weren't able to make this afternoon.
Williams goes it easy. That'll be a block on Vincent Easy. And it'll also be the 7th Fairfield foul, so it'll send Warren Williams to the line for 1 and 1.
Well, that's the point we talked about in the first half. Easy wasn't able to sell that time. If Warren Williams is playing against another guy like himself, you know he's not going to go down like that. You'll be able to play that possession out. Now he goes to the line to shoot a 1 and 1.
59% free throw shooter. Look for him to continue to just take that leap with Manhattan over the next couple of seasons. And missing
now,
the front
if
end.
Manhattan were to advance, that's an area you would have some concern about. Free throw shooting by their bigs. They come up big on the defensive end with a steal.
Reynolds finding Williams.
And that's what you've been looking for, Eddie-O. That's what you were seeing most of the MAAC tournament last year. Warren Williams in the lane, dunking it hard with 2 hands.
Watch out on the backboard, by the way. That thing was thunderous as the lead is now 15. And Manhattan doesn't sit back with a 15-point lead. They continue to keep its foot on the gas defensively. Benning turning the corner, and he is fouled with 3:25 to go.
Strong move by Benning. Again, we talk about Warren Williams. in that lane area last season during the tournament. You said, Eddie, what's going on with Warren Williams? Jasper's coming with the steal. Big fella runs the floor. When he runs the floor, you got to find him, and he's going to jam that home with two hands. Give it to me, Warren. Get him, big fella. With two hands.
I don't want to say guard dominant,
Yes.
but, like most leagues like this, great guards kind of rule things. But, look around the league at Warren Williams and Kevin Marfo at Quinnipiac, Tawan Agee at Iona. There are
Marshall at Ryder.
Right,
Another
Burns,
good big.
and I'm going to throw Camper in that mix because he's averaging like 14 rebounds a game. And Traore at Monmouth. There are great bigs in this league. They're just maybe not all the traditional Warren Williams back to the basket big, but look at a Paulie Polycap, who is maybe the new age kind of big.
Especially at this level here.
3:25 remaining. That over the back foul will send it down the other way.
Now, this is the time of the ball game where you don't want your will to be broken. You still want to compete every possession, Eddie. Even if you do not win this basketball game, you don't want to go down without fighting hard. These games are never over until there's zeros across the board. And as my good friend Russ Williams would say, the young fellas will keep you in it. They'll let you back into the ball game.
Well, that's a good point. You have to do things like this with Hinkson going to the line, knocking down the first one. Two big free throws for Christian Hinkson. Time now for Fairfield down 16. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen quickly.
Correct.
Taliaferro will let fire a three. And Polycap pulls down the rebound. That is Polycap's 10th rebound, a double-double for the senior.
And the Jaspers are really starting to feel momentum. Taliaferro with the long jumper. Again, that's more of a settled shot. And when I talked about him being more aggressive, you wanted him to be aggressive earlier. So when you take that shot, it's more of the rhythm shot. And the point I'm making is if you're a type of guy and your team depends on you, there's certain stages of the game you have to put the onus on yourself, put the backpack on and say, I need to try to carry my team. And I think you learn that as a college player. Easier said than done because you want to stay within the team concept. But that's the type of guy you want him to get shots up.
How about the game that Polycap is playing? 4 for 4 from the free throw line for a guy who shoots 49%, 14 points, 10 rebounds. He wants this Manhattan team playing in the quarterfinals, and a date with top-seeded Siena awaits the Jaspers.
Benning attacking the basket. Those are the attacks you're looking for. Polycap didn't get there in time.
Polycap will pick up his fourth as Benning will shoot 2. Fairfield's gotten a lot of its offense from the line. 16 of their 35 points have come from the free throw line.
Well, when the Jaspers are in their pressure, oftentimes you have to make decisions, and one of the better decisions is attacking the basket. And I think that's one of the things Benning has done well. He has to get a little bit better. Again, only a junior. He has another season to come back and be even better.
It'll be interesting to see, is his role next year that point guard role again? Or he's played really 3 positions for Fairfield in his time. As Fairfield replaces the graduating seniors and brings in new players.
Well, again, in watching this young man, you can see his development where he can be a multi-purpose type guy. Even if they bring in a traditional type point guard, I could definitely see him coming off the bench and giving you really solid minutes at a number of positions.
Oh, absolutely. He's made himself into a very nice player for Fairfield. So Tyke Green will go to the line as Fairfield will extend this game with 2:52 to go.
And as Tyke misses that first free throw, considering we're just talking about the makeup of this Fairfield team, one of the things that I looked at this team, their guard play, and I had given Monmouth the one, in my opinion, as being the top group of guards. This Fairfield group needs to bring in additional guards, long, lanky type guards, athletic, who can play multiple positions like Benny.
You give yourself so much more flexibility, whether you want to play
Correct.
2, 3, or 4 of them.
And it's tough to play against teams like Manhattan, teams like Monmouth, as Cruz knocks down the 3, St. Peter's, who throws a swarm of different guards at you, and you have a Benning on the floor for a long period of time, a Tyler Farrell on a long period of time, and you're throwing out Ray Sack.
Poison.
Right. And it's not a drop-off when another group comes in. In some cases, in most cases, especially for St. Peter's, they elevate it. Because speaking to Coach Holloway, you have to prove to me your minutes on the practice floor.
Exactly. There was a chance for the exclamation point. Polycap will definitely settle for the deuce down low to make it 55-40.
Great job by the Jaspers breaking that pressure. Polycap puts in the deuce.
And then he gets the rebound on the other end with 2:15 to go. He is fouled.
And those are high percentage shots for Taliaferro there. That's a shot he's been making his entire career. And I just believe if he had taken more shots, he makes that. Polycap catches the ball, waits, patient, puts it in off the glass, but you know he wants to dunk that.
He didn't catch it clean. He'll go to the line. 16 and 11 for Polycap in this game. Well, never too early with 2:15 to go to look ahead to our next game after this one. You and I will give way. Our colleagues Greg Meskel and Steve Egnick have Iona and Canisius.
Oh, that's a goodie.
You know, I'm curious to get your thought, but I'm going to give it to you. Here's the storyline, in my opinion. It's the 4-time defending champs against the offense nobody wants to guard. Because who wants to guard Reggie Witherspoon's half-court ball screen offense?
Again, with Coach Reggie Witherspoon, you love Johnson. He's a gamer. He makes everything go. But I'm talking about Majesty. Majesty, he is a scoring machine. If he can get going, he did it against Manhattan. He's very similar to a Vinnie Johnson type microwave guy who comes in and he just looks to score the ball. With Iona, so explosive. I love Isaiah Washington pushing the basketball, pass, first point guard, looking to get everyone involved. E.J. Crawford, professional scorer. Mid-range, if he squares you up, he's going to get something out of that possession. The issue I have with Iona, and I've had it with them for years, if they're not locked in defensively, they allow teams in the MAAC to stick around, and before you know it's a close game, and anything can happen. So they need to come out and be aggressive from the start and try to close out Canisius early.
I couldn't agree more. You know, a player to keep an eye on for Canisius as well, who had a up and down freshman season, but I think Armin Harid is really a guy who he just looks so silky smooth, and I get to see him a few times this year.
No question.
And you know, Jaco Fritz had an all-rookie team year, and Scott Hitchin, while being a kind of an enforcer down low, has big-time skill. But when you start throwing out all those Iona names, isn't it wild that their season, and I first of all I love Malik Johnson. He's one of my favorite players in the league. But I also love Asante Gist, and he's one of my favorite players in the league as well. And their season turned, weirdly enough, when he got injured. It makes no sense at all because he's one of the best guards in mid-major basketball. Continue to be with Tim Kloos and his road to recovery, and hopefully Coach is back healthy soon. This league is better when Tim Kloos, not just Iona, the MAAC is better when Tim Kloos is on the sidelines for the Gales. And I think Trey Arnold and staff have done a tremendous job throughout the season. Tim Kloos is the dean of coaches in this league. He's got a lot of rings, and again, we can't wish him a speedy enough recovery to get back to Iona.
Well, again, I've said it time and time again. Coach Kloos has a residency on Monday nights in this conference. He's there waiting for whoever wants to come challenge the Iona Gales. But we miss him. Coach Kloos, get well, feel better. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with you. But this team is different without him, but they still have enough to contend and be able to win a championship.
100%. You know, the way that the bracket works out is Stewart knocks down a couple. It's an 18-point lead. You know, the winner here has Siena. The winner in our second game has St. Peter's as the 2 seed. And hats off to Shaheen Holloway and what he was able to accomplish this season. But it's kind of funny that St. Peter's, with the year they had, they're the 2.
Right.
Riders got those 4,000-point scores. They're the 3. It's so nip-tuck once you start getting into those top couple of seeds in this league. What separates really 1 through 3, and maybe you want to say 1 through 5.
Well, the great thing about the conference-ending tournament, you're at a neutral site. during the course of the season, if you take a look at the records, most teams were very good at home.
Yep.
The difference is how many road wins could you get? That's the difference between the 1, 2, 3, 4 seed. Because you win some games on the road because everyone is really good at home. Now, in a neutral site, will you be able to put it together? Iona has shown you that time and time again, winning championship after championship. Can someone else step up to the plate? Now, I've said this also before. There are 3 coaches in this league. We talked about Coach Kluse. The other 2, in my opinion, who understand and really get it, Coach Steve Masiello and Coach John Dunn. Everybody else is still trying to figure out. No one else has won championships.
Good point.
Those 3 coaches get it.
This 3 long whistle will keep things on this end of the floor as Mac and Mido got held up. Yeah, it's a great point you bring up. There are only 3 current coaches in the league that have championships, and John Dunn won his championship at St. Peter's,
right?
Which obviously he's now at Marist. You know, one of the stats that I looked at all year, the home records of the top 4 teams in this league. I'm going to do my quick math. 33 plus 14, so 47. The home teams this year, or I'm sorry, the top 4 teams in the league this year are 47-6.
No surprise.
At home. I'll tell you this, no one has a winning record away from home in the MAAC, and a couple of teams have 6 wins. St. Peter's, Monmouth, and Fairfield have 6 wins away from home. That's the most in the league.
Love it. I love it. But on a neutral site, how many teams can dig deep and figure out what it takes to win? And I'm going to throw another one out at you. How disappointing is Siena that the championship is here this year in Atlantic City, opposed up in Albany, when they didn't lose a game at home? Woo!
14-0 in the Times Union Center this year, and they get to go on the road. I broadcasted their last game of the year, and I asked Carmen Massarella that question. He said, you know, between us, we'll play this tournament wherever it is, but it is kind of funny how things work out.
Well, listen, that's the coach's answer. If I'm a Siena fan, I'm like, wow, this is the one year we would love to have it in our place because we'll really pack it and cheer those guys on. But they travel well. I'm expecting Siena to be down here in a large number to support their team at the Jaspers. Try to close this one out.
And Manhattan will advance to take on that Siena team tomorrow at 7 o'clock live on ESPN3 here in Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. Final few seconds are going to tick off the clock. And a supreme defensive effort by Steve Masiello's Jaspers. Oh, a huge block by Paulie Cap.
Eddie-O, we're going to go over this one more time. If you're going to go at Paulie Cap, you have to use 2 hands. It's not going to work with one, and that's a great closeout to the ball game.
And most games have the exclamation point on the offensive end, fitting that Paulie Cap's huge rejection ends Manhattan's first round win over Fairfield, and the Jaspers prevail 61-43. Oh goodness, Paulie Cap, 18 points, 12 rebounds, that highlight reel rejection, and that will send Manhattan